And Daze is already laughing. Great.
Terrific start.
All right, guys. So we're gonna start with. Okay, so for everyone at home, right? This is the RDR2 official Mafia Hub rules, right? Um,
What if they're not at home?
if they're not at home, they're somewhere. Days. That's not our business. So,
Okay.
for those of you that don't know, this is the world that I came from initially, right? Like, I was one of the guys that was there when we were writing the first rule docs.
Hi.
I don't play here anymore, right? But many of these ladies and gentlemen do, and those that don't are still involved tangentially to the community. So we're going to go over their rules here, and we're going to give our opinions and maybe poke at some of the things that don't make a lot of sense. You know, just so
we're gonna talk about why they suck.
More politely than that, maybe.
Yeah, it's like sour cream on tacos.
So, this was last updated beginning of this year, so this should be pretty fresh, right?
Technically.
Got quick links. Okay.
Sorry.
Where we want to go first, guys?
Band aspects.
Band aspects?
I agree.
Band aspects. Let's go. All right. So, the following includes weapons and equipment that is deemed by the
Boy, shut your ass!
RDR2 Mafia community as explosive, unrealistic, or militarized.
Why are you talking like college?
In parentheses, section 2-A, parenthesis, banned weapons, craftable ammo, besides split points. Who the fuck
Okay,
uses split point?
Me.
I want to be the first opinion on that.
God, you're weird.
Split points more regular ammo, basically.
Yeah.
Your mom's regular ammo.
It's slightly more accurate, but I think it's less accurate than express and high velocity.
So y'all gonna.
I don't think
this,
anybody has the
right?
IQ level
That's
to
what it's
use
supposed
split
to
point.
be, but split point's actually glitched. It's just regular ammo. It's regular ammo.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I feel like the
Bang.
more
That's one of the issues with this is that there's
is,
not like the testing there to
craftables.
prove that these things like should be banned, you know?
That's a good point.
There's a reason you're banned. Balance meaning.
Ammo, 'cause ammo's a topic that we like.
Yeah. I love this topic, which is why I'm going to be the first opinion. So, I'm the greatest doc the world has ever seen, Doc E. Vittori. And as a former hierarchy member of Vittori, I fucking love craftables. And a lot of people say that they're unfair, but ultimately, I feel like the game is a lot less fair without them, right? Because there's a lot of situations where if you're running the right build, the only way you're going down is if you catch a fucking craftable, right? I've seen it with Khan. I've seen him in situations where the only way you're killing him is if you sling a Debo at him. The game is ultimately less fair. You're on less even ground if you're not allowed to use them. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And also, it's just lame. It's less fun.
Yeah.
I love Debos.
There's actually a game.
It is. It's a lot less fun.
There's a gameplay you guys are going to see a little bit later on where the only reason that I die in the gameplay is from a Debo.
Yeah.
Also, like, just let's get this out the way. If you're complaining about, like, I understand Debos are kind of crazy, but you get 16 of them if you're smart and 8 if you're an idiot.
And you can dodge them.
Yeah,
I'd take that personally.
For real, like it's not like there isn't any counterplay to a Debo.
Yeah. If I ever figure out how to make a YouTube short, I'm gonna just do a bunch of little counter videos one day. It's gonna be pretty cool. I just gotta learn how to do that shit.
I have no idea. One of my whacks accidentally uploaded as a short one time, and I have no idea what the criteria is.
We'll figure it out. But if you are gonna complain about explosive rounds, like regular explosive rounds, there's this wonderful card called Slippery Bastard, and its exact purpose is to eat up people's E rounds.
And here's the thing too. Everyone in the Mafia Hub uses Slip now. Right? Like, Pib and tank builds are a lot less popular than they were when me and you were really around. Everyone runs slip. So I don't understand why people would care about anything but Devos.
Could be incense, maybe? Because incense are still
I'm about to
Maybe.
body slam this cat, dude.
Maybe incense.
But again, there are still like in-game limits on those things, and you only use so many.
Incense are one of those things you can stock a lot of. Like, I can understand them being oppressive, but if they're oppressive, it's because a team is well stocked and well coordinated. And
Yeah, it's not because they're unfair.
like, they can only be oppressive for so long.
Yeah.
And if
And-
both sides
Exactly.
have access to them, it's even, right? Like,
And
Yes.
this is something that I want to point out preemptively while we're talking about this and talking about the issue of certain groups being better organized and better stocked, such as the best crew in that fucking community, the Suppressa Crime family, run by my guy T2. A lot of these
Oh my God.
rules, you'll notice, do nothing but weed out. But who agrees with them and who doesn't shows nothing but who is on what level of play, right? Because you'll notice that groups and crews that were operating on a higher level than the rest of the community always opposed banning E rounds and banning cards, whereas crews that sucked were always in favor of those rules.
that's fair. Alright. Let's move on a little bit. So, no banned throwables. Why the hell is there a tab for it? Banned abilities, none. Why is there a tab
In case
for it?
something gets, it's in case something gets banned.
How long have all
And
these things been
it's
unbanned
so
now,
there's
though?
no yeah, it's so there's no gray area where it's just not mentioned at all.
Fair. You know what? That makes sense. I'm with that. Banned strategies, defensive mode, unless you were doing blah 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 blah. Non-combatant in a session. That is bullshit. I'm gonna say that straight up. A non-combative in a session, that means that when I'm off fucking flower picking as a solo player, or when T2 here, he's a Don, right? That means he can go flower pick in defensive mode the way this is written.
Yep.
It's bullshit.
That also means as long as you're not fighting, you can be in defensive whenever you want. And I can tell you why that wording was put in there. Because it happened while you were still closely associated with Sandy and Soviet Pugs era of IDA. It's because Sandy and Soviet took a bunch of IDA guys, I think 4, something like that, and spawned on Jaeger while he was in defensive mode in a session. And the only reason he did not get whacked is because he had time to run away because he was in defensive mode. And so,
Wow.
he picked up a DQ for that, and Killer said, no, I don't like that, and added that to the doc.
And I don't think that's fair at all. If you're going to be participating in Mafia, you're not going to be allowed to appear offline or hide from the people that are trying to get you.
And this is something that I said about the whole thing where Killer tried to invalidate all whacks that were done on
Real
him
quick,
by
one
IDA.
second, 1 second. Killer, for all of those of you who don't know, is the primary admin and owner of the Mafia Hub server. We won't get into all of that. His name is Mr. Winchester. There's a podcast that he talks about a little bit of this earlier on the channel. Continue, Ben.
So I'll cut to the chase in that case. I won't explain the whole situation. Essentially, my whole opinion on that, and I've been very open about this, to Killer himself, is if you are going to be Mafia, so long as there is another Mafia person in the session, that session is Mafia now. You can't have time off. If you're a Don, you're always a Don. If you are in a crew repping Mafia roles, you are always Mafia. You can't say, well, this was a non-Mafia fight, so X, Y, and Z.
this goes along with in my message to the PvP community, right? I talked about how you don't get to appear offline. Once you join a crew, you're signing up for 24/7 PvP. And ultimately, the Mafia community is a PvP community, right? I'm not misunderstanding that?
Well, I wouldn't say it's that anymore. It should be.
Excuse me. Okay.
You know whose fault it is that it isn't that?
Whose?
Don Killer Winchester.
I know you don't like him, but
Not
let's
one
not get
bit.
into that because we'll talk about that for 2 hours.
That's the
we
next
all agree,
episode.
defensive mode is kind of a no-no, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna humor any of y'all by talking about God mode, booting, doxing. What the fuck does doxing have to do with the game? Never mind.
Not a
You know, if they
strategy.
want to disallow that, cool. It doesn't matter.
That's a server rule. That's not a community rule.
Respawning and self-killing. I have seen tons of people do that inside of Mafia fights.
Yeah, that couldn't even be in the doc because it's not enforced at all.
Also, how
Unless
are you
you're
gonna
an
do
ID.
that?
Unless
If I
you're an
chuck a
ID.
stick of dynamite at Bianchi while she's running at me, right? And fucking she kicks it into my fucking face, am I self-killing?
Yeah, that's
There's a
the
lot of
thing.
nuance to that rule.
You can't enforce it, and the only time I've ever seen it enforced was against IEA.
Yeah. Being in a safe zone for longer than 5 minutes, okay.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. That's cool. Including parlay.
Parlay is spelled wrong, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that, but I wasn't gonna
That's
say
supposed to
anything.
be an E.
Okay. Outside of
Killer's
in-family
illiterate
and/or
and fat.
alliance networks. Okay. How do you prove who's in any of those? You know what? That doesn't matter either. Whatever. A parlay
Yeah,
is a
it's
forfeit for
the thing with that is they're recognizing that as in that particular fight, are you a friendly combatant?
Gotcha.
Because I've had to enforce it in community when I helped own the community, and because there's no way to prove your alliance other than being in a commission, it's just based on who are you fighting and who are you not fighting
Yeah.
in that particular setting.
I wish we had pyro for this next one, man. Any glitch, bug, fault, or tool that can be manipulated or exploited for a player's use.
You have the
In
real
example,
pyro.
Lancaster spam and off radar. Those are not comparable.
You have the real pyro, and I think that is really dumb because of wording.
So, does this
Because-
mean that AQG is disallowed?
Yes, I
Really?
see. Yes, because here is the thing. Sandy Hawk, right? When she was running IDA, you will remember, T, you were Sinclair Hierarchy at that point with her.
Yeah.
She pushed, or not with her yet, but you were Sinclair Hierarchy. You could see the Don's chat. She pushed for AQG to be specifically excluded from that rule because Icy had been DQ'd for AQGing. Mind you, they didn't even AQG. They just got some lucky shots. But she pushed for AQG to get excluded actively
Okay, so that
because of that.
what else does that disallow? That does AQG. That means that technically speaking, you can't use the regular accuracy from Paint It Black because it's a bug. It's not intended. That means that you can't rehat. That means that posse fit rehatting is also probably a no-go.
Yeah,
That means you can't tonic
so-
jump, right? That means
No rehat, no tonic hop, no hairpin glitch, no beaver glitch, no off radar, no Lancaster spam, no Carcano spam,
so
no
select button
spam firing
spams.
bows. I think that's all of the things that it disallows.
So does that go on to like rocking SNS on the back of somebody's horse? Like, I mean, that's not the intent.
That is technically a fault in the function part,
Like,
so I think it would.
you're
See,
telling us to
this is-
drive
this
in a
is what I
straight
mean.
line with a car with crooked wheels. What the fuck?
This is what I mean when I say wording makes that rule really, really dumb. Because the fact we can sit here and justify how literally just sitting on a horse running a tank build is banned from that rule, that should not be a thing. It should be clear. I think they should have a specific list of every tool it disallows.
Okay. So, what about the rest of you? Any thoughts on any of that?
I agree with the specific list. I feel like if there's going to be banned elements, they should be listed in full so that there's no gray area and you get DQ'd without knowing.
So, this is one that I've just thought of. Does that mean that, like, offhand cycling to get extra shots, does that follow it in there too?
It definitely does. They would DQ you if you did it.
That's wild.
Oh, okay, for reference, I haven't made a video about this or nothing, right? So,
I don't think so.
when you're dual wielding handguns, shotguns, anything, right, in your hands, you can shoot off all of your shots with your dual wields. Like if you have 2 revolvers, all 12 shots, and then you can pull your left hand gun out alone solo, and you'll have 6 shots loaded because your dual wields are tied to your right hand. So basically, every gun, if you're dual wielding it, has 300% of the magazine size, not 200%, if you know what you're doing.
Yep. I've had people only kill me because of that tool. Days is a great example. On more than one occasion, he's fucking dumped 4 sawed-off rounds into me, and I tanked him, and then he fucking whipped out his left hand and offed me.
All right. Do we want to go to turf or assassinations next?
Go to assassinations.
Let's do assassinations.
I have so much
boy.
to say about wax.
Let's go through everyone's pedigree real quick here, right? Bianchi here. Bianchi is one of the best old school assassins in the community. Really high kill count. T's been around a long time. He's avoided being assassinated a lot. Taylor Azulzi here. She's pretty good. You know, she's pretty good at the game. I don't know what her whacking records are, but I know she's got a few kills.
She doesn't have a thing. She's just kind of good.
Yeah. Dazed here. Dazed is probably the best bodyguard I've ever seen. Like, real talk.
He's also the most schizophrenic individual on the game. Barring Billy, but we don't talk about him.
Yeah. And as far as I know, I'm still the only person that's... still the only person with over 300 kills. Like,
You're the only person with 300 kills. You're also the only Don that has legitimately never been whacked.
That's fair. I'm not a Don anymore, so I guess that doesn't count anymore. But
You'll always be a Don.
yeah, whatever.
Don't bullshit me.
Okay, but everyone here knows what they're talking about with wax. We've all been doing it a while, right? So,
Yep.
Assassinations, wax, same thing, just different terms. So, will not be changed and only fixed to cause no discrepancies? Excuse me?
Yes, hold up. I've run into this situation before. I used to import around. And when Sandy was running IDA, I was in close contact with her. Of course, she didn't tell anybody that for obvious reasons. I was in close contact with Sandy. She tried to have whack rules changed just to make things a little bit more streamlined, make less bullshit happen on more than one occasion, and was told, no, we're not even voting on it. I'm just not allowing you to do that. By
who?
admins.
By admins?
By Winchester,
Or
mainly.
Winchester.
Both. It was Winchester. They were all admins because 3/4 of the admins are Winchester.
Okay, if you're a Don and somebody tells you you can't do something, I'd just like to remind you, you are the leader of your family. You do what you damn well please.
Yeah, you do what you want. And this is advice that I've had to give many people that I've explained that I've helped become a goat like me. If you are a Don, You need to take no shit from nobody. Value the opinions of your guys, but if somebody tells me you can't do something and you're a Don, you tell them, fuck you, suck my dick, and then you kill them. And then you do it anyway. That is how you should go about being told you can't do something as a Don.
Okay. So let's go through this real quick. So you can't die in the session. Cool. I'm assuming that means before the body drop off. I assume. I have no idea what I'm
Yes, before the body drop off.
You hog-tie the victim and kill them with a community-approved weapon, which is everything except craftables, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
You return to your commission's turf. So commission turf is automatically shared. That's
Yes.
interesting.
At one point, I believe in the early days of the community, you had to have specific commission turf to share it for wax, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember that time frame, but it may have been when I wasn't playing turf.
Yeah.
Within the area, Flatiron is default drop-off. Cool, so turfless families still have somewhere to drop. Completed by a verified member within the Discord. I don't agree with that. As long as you got tags or... Listen, you know when
a posse name.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think anyone whose posse says,
the family name.
X crew, who is endorsed by the Don as being part of that crew, should be recognized, no matter what. Honestly, I think motherfuckers without a Discord should be able to be recognized as members of a particular crew. Now, your crew sucks if you don't require Discord and you have no organization, but you should be able to just hop on Xbox, get in a party, grab a posse name, and whack somebody. And if the Don says, yep, that's my guy, we whacked that guy, then you're a member of that crew and you whacked that guy.
Yeah, because straight up, I mean, we play this game like no one else is allowed to play it. Like, fucking Bianchi here will remember, and I'm sure T will remember from way back in the day. We didn't play this game just with Mafias way back in the day, in 2019 and shit, right?
Yeah.
We played
I remember
everybody.
back when we were in Ballard, we fought every single day, and we fought Mafias probably once a month.
And you know what? We had friends that would help us in fights that came from everywhere. And, I'm just saying, how many of y'all are fighting every day in the Mafia community right now? Maybe take that into consideration,
Yeah.
And you must mention who whacked who. Yeah, you actually do have to do that. That's a good addition. I like that.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify something, right? If you look at the example text, they mean you have to at them on Discord. You have to say, at this person, whacked at this person from X group.
With their previous requirements, that makes sense. I'm not going to fault them for that.
It does make sense if you have to be in the
drop
Discord.
Off of the body and the drop off showing the application verified. Okay, this is stupid.
Yep.
This is actually stupid. You just told me that any war whack where somebody manages to survive more than 5 minutes, 90% of the community can't record unless they're streaming, which, if they're on an older gen Xbox, is going to hurt their performance. This is gatekeeping. I can record hours of gameplay, but not everyone can. This is stupid. The way it always was you proved you killed them. If you killed them.
And then it was innocent until proven guilty. If somebody showed that you died, then you died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, I've been fake whacked before. And it has been counted because I didn't have a clip of the death.
Dumb.
Yeah.
But let's see.
And that's completely fair. I'm not gonna bitch about it. Because if you are able to kill me without me having footage of you dying, I believe that it should be innocent until proven guilty forever and ever. You get that whack. I know in my brain that it's fake. You know in your brain that it's fake. And I have no respect for you if you do it. But, it is what it is.
Cannot leave and rejoin. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, one thing I do like about that rule is that it has been clarified. It was not clarified in the old community. that you can't leave and rejoin after being killed. In the old community, the actual doc said you just couldn't leave and rejoin. Once you left and rejoined, you no longer could whack.
In order to complete the whack, the assassin must have a gamer tag change unless they are representing their family through Discord and or posse names. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, whoever edits this document now, that right there tells me that I can go fight the Suppressa crime family, right? I can make my fucking posse name Suppressa as long as I'm in Discord tags for IDA, right? And I can roll up and assassinate T, and he sees the name underneath as his family. If that's allowed, which I am all for, like, great, that's devious, I like it. But if that's allowed, y'all gotta decide if you want it to be.
If that's allowed, I'm just gonna be straight up. If that's allowed, they better hope I never get an alt in their community. Straight up. If that's allowed, they better hope an alt of mine never touches that Discord. Because I will whack every motherfucking Don on this game, or fake-ass Don that wants to be a Don on this game, and they will think I'm one of their guys every single time.
Mm-hmm. If the person being whacked respawns while in tackling animation, it's an automatic whack. This includes dashboarding and other self-directed ways to avoid the whack whilst in animation.
That's fair.
I don't see an issue with that. That tracks.
So here's something that I want to make, that I want to point out. It says other self-directed ways, right? Does that mean, for one thing, that your guy stealing the kill makes it a whack anyway? And for two, does that mean it's still a whack if you die from something that they use to kill themselves?
That's very
Because it
smart.
says it's an automatic whack with all self-directed ways to stop it
Mm-hmm.
or to kill themselves.
So here comes the real fun part there, right? With your guys stealing the kill, right? The assumption there has always been that your guys are loyal to you, right? But that's not necessarily the case anymore, right? Let's be real.
Yeah. It's
And as for killing yourself, I mean, who cares, man? You get him eventually.
Yeah.
What does it mean for the whacked? Which I just want to say, you shouldn't be using whacked and assassinated interchangeably in this document, because if somebody new comes in, you haven't told them what a whack is, you know?
Yeah. I feel like they should put in the doc that whack and assassination are the same thing.
Well, they may have. Hold on.
They have?
Assassination's wax. Okay, yeah, no, they actually did that.
Okay. So yeah, they should. In that case, I'm fine with them using it interchangeably. Now, if people didn't know that a whack was an assassination, then I would say just say assassination or just say whack.
Wait, whoa. You lose your untouchable, cool, whatever. Nobody cares about that shit. Not really. You
Not
may
anymore.
not whack unless your family does the following: participates in a turf war, which may not participate in. Minimum of 2 weeks of no participation. You and yours whack the Don of the whacker's family. Excuse me?
I didn't notice this last time I checked the rule doc.
So
Am I reading this?
basically, what's going on is, for one thing, I don't agree with the idea of somebody getting whacked and no longer being able to whack in the first place. But what they're doing is they're giving you another road if your family does not play turf. Because let's take an example here. Con, how often? Let's say you were under these rules when that dumbass Lispy fuck Zesty got whacked. How often did IDA have a turf war?
Shit.
Not-
Once every 3
not
or
very
4
often.
months, maybe?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months. And it says minimum of 2 weeks, not maximum. There's no cutoff on this. There's no statute of limitations. That's 3 or 4 months. Zesty can no longer whack. And as much of an idiot as he was pretty alright at whacking people.
Yeah, so he could have gone after
Yeah,
That's
so you can
correct.
just go after the Don of the Whackers family, which, mind you, that's still not a perfect system because a lot of Dons don't play. Killer never touches Red Dead. He just sits on Daisy eating Big Macs. But I do respect that there's another way
Yeah,
to
no,
make you able to
I'm
whack.
with that. That's cool. I actually kind of like that system, but you can't whack anybody. That's
That's
how are
dumb.
you getting counterplay here? Because what used to happen, right, is Bianchi would whack me, and then we would all go after all of Bianchi's guys, and vice versa. That's how it works. That's how you start
Yeah.
rivalries and actual feuds.
Yeah, because I remember me and Siciliano had a big feud, right? Back in the day. Vito Siciliano, right? He's a dumbass. I fought him pretty recently. He sucks. He has never been good. But he set me up, and I'm willing to admit that. I was dumb back then. But I went after all his guys. I called him out to PFMWs. I called him out to CVCs. I called him out for all his turf. And I went after all his fucking guys. If I could no longer whack until Vito himself got whacked, he didn't play. He's a GTA player. There was no counterplay there. Because I can no longer whack, and he doesn't get on to get whacked. It's dumb.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that's cool. Hey, third party. Excuse me?
Third party as an exposure is dumb.
Yeah.
A screenshot of them in the posse and in their party. I want to explain to you that means I could show up to a war and kill, just debo every single person fighting against Suppressa, for example. Show up to a Suppressa turf war, debo everyone on the opposing side, and then leave. And if I'm not in a Suppressa posse, they can do nothing about it.
Oh man, that's not good. Like, I know why this was set up this way because I was there when it was.
Yeah.
But third party is the dumbest rule set that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you want to pull someone in to fight. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I remember back when I was running Bianchi, I would import like fuck. You know how many people out of these 7? Yeah, I imported against you. Like I had a CVC 7v7 against Jackson. You know how many people on that lineup were in Bianchi?
You.
Me.
I remember. I remember.
It was like me, Seahawk, Operator, Golden Guy, Arch, Flowerfuls, fucking, and one other dude, one of Seahawk's friends. I was the only Bianchi member on the lineup.
And if you've got those
and guess what? We stomped them so hard they broke rules, and then we fucking E-rounded them. It was hilarious.
I wish I was there now. I remember seeing it in the server the very next day, actually.
If you're gonna have third-party rules, listen, if you need third-party rules to protect you, you're bad at the game. Let's just get that out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Either have enough people in your crew that you don't have to worry about this shit and have them trained up to the point that it doesn't matter, or there are other options.
Pull your own third party.
Yeah. Be smart. Have
foster some relationships. Have some allies.
That's what I told Jackson. I told him, yo, if my imports are too good for your members to handle, you should have friends outside of your crew. Just import against me. I will not DQ you for it.
All right. Let's move on a little bit.
Hold up. This is something that I have to talk about because I had Sam losing her shit about this.
I read it first, sir or ma'am.
The decision makers on blacklisting is the responsibility of the Blessed families. Let me say it in a way that's not worded like I'm fucking retarded, because that's how it's put in the doc. The decision making of blacklisting is solely the responsibility of Blessed families, which are Winchester, VSX, Sinclair, Vilified, and Argent. Winchester, VSX, Vilified, and Argent are all in commission. Sinclair no longer exists. Sandy tried to change this and tried to make it an all Dons vote on blacklisting for that exact reason, and she got told, you're going to notice a theme here, she got told they would not even vote on that because she can't change it.
Okay, so we're going to summarize this. Once again, Dons, do not give up your responsibilities to make your lives easier. This is your job. The more you give up, the more things slip. Okay? Like, blacklisting, first off,
It's dumb.
it's dumb. Like, we don't use blacklisting the way that it's supposed to be used, even, right? Like, blacklisting initially was, hey, you can still be around, but we're not going to let you vote. We're not going to let you conduct assassinations. But if you want to fight people, whatever, you're still a family. It was basically the, hey, you're a dick.
Yeah. Blacklisting should not be the blacklisting should not be a thing that is used to get rid of people. Right? If you want to get rid of somebody, you can ostracize them willingly. And you can say, you can openly tell the community, if somebody tries to recruit them, you can tell that person, hey, you are the Don of this family. You have the right not to recruit this person, no matter what sob story they give you. If they are in your family, we'll fuck you up. No one in the community will associate with you, and that's the right way to do it. For example, let's use the example of me. I'm blacklisted more times over than anyone else in the community. My main account is the #1 spot on the blacklist. And mind you, that blacklist is no longer valid because it doesn't list my current GT. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Killer can just say, hey, Bianchi is allowed to be around. If you recruit Bianchi, I will kill you. Now, he's not going to because he sucks and he doesn't play, but he can say that. And the person can be like, whoa, I'm scared of this. I'm scared of this big fat guy threatening me. I won't recruit Bianchi. And that's the way it should go. But instead, what he does is he complains about me and talks about me constantly, like a fan in the Discord. Those of you that are in the Discord can confirm. And he thinks that anyone who is even slightly strange to him or disagrees with him even a little bit is me. He hates me so much that he's paranoid about me. And he is so obsessed with me that he's paranoid about me at all times. And that's not how blacklisting should be.
Yeah,
If you want somebody to just be gone permanently, stop talking about them, stop thinking about them, don't seek them out. If they get in, they get in. Wait for them to do something to show that they're who they are, or wait for them to do something wrong.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the strike system here, because I've got something that's popping out at me. And Taylor, I'm going to ask you a question here, okay? And give me your answer, your honest answer, right? So, what I'm seeing is I get one strike for every 3 DQs, right? And I get 4 strikes a month before they just automatically kick me out, right? Right? I'm understanding that right?
I think she might be AFK.
Okay. Well,
It's 4 strikes and then a month off,
yeah, no.
and then another 4.
What I'm hearing here is that I get 4 times 3 Dynabos every month.
Yep. 12 Debos every month.
Hey man, this sounds pretty good, honestly. So you're telling me that
Yeah.
I only, okay, so what you're telling me is that if, if family A and family B link up, right? And as long as we're smart about it, we can save the dons of those families every day of the month, damn near, and just keep getting these fucking strikes.
Yeah, so here's the thing with that too. I have a way more nefarious and way less defensive idea about that, right? Consider it this way. Most families, especially with scheduling issues, have about a month off between each turf war, which means that I have 12, my family, and if we bring in commission, we have
Every other
12
family.
each. Yeah, each other family has 12 Debos apiece for every turf war, no matter what the rules say.
Because, like, we get it. There's a spirit of the rules. But that's the actual rule. The actual rule as written here is that you get 12 Debos a month per family.
Yeah, as written. And mind you, they talk a lot about doing things as written. They tried to play semantics against Kaiser and made her whack invalid. Just because Cowpoke doesn't understand what depositing means. And rules as written say we get 12 Debos, and then if we take a month off, we get another 12 Debos. If you really think about it, you get 14 because it takes 3 on top of that 12 before you get your 5th strike.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so let's
You have
also go through
14
this,
Debos a
right?
month.
The other way to look at that is you have what's 12 times 5? Or not 12 times 5. What's that?
12 times
60?
5, 60.
So you have an hour of hiding in a safe zone.
Yeah. You have once you hit, you have 59 minutes.
Of hiding in a
59
safe
minutes
zone.
and 59 seconds of hiding in a safe zone before it does anything. It's beautiful.
Oh, great. So, Mafia Community, fix your shit before someone who knows how systems works fucks your shit up.
But yeah. I guarantee if you check the rule doc tomorrow, which give me the link because I'm going to check the rule doc about this time tomorrow. Guarantee the wording is going to be changed drastically.
Oh, come on. You know he don't watch my channel.
You are a liar. He's going to see my name in the title and he's going to click immediately.
Okay, let's see. You can't attend Don's meetings once you've been blacklisted? Then why does any of this other shit matter? If you can't attend a Don's meeting, you can't vote on propositions.
Yeah, you can't vote. You can't conduct
hold turf.
assassinations. You can't hold turf. Also, I think there should be a statute of limitations on blacklists. Like me, I've been blacklisted for how long has it been the Mafia Hub? Like a year? 2 years?
A good 2 years at this point.
I've been blacklisted for like 2 years.
So, I just want to know, right? You're telling people that they can be blacklisted forever, and then you tell them, hey, but if you keep playing around us, even though you can't play with us, though, like, maybe we'll, like, change it up, bro.
I can't play around them. Like, that's the thing. There is no getting unblacklisted unless they want you to. Because I appealed to the Blessed families on several occasions, and they told actual fucking lies as to why I was blacklisted. They gave reasons that no longer applied. And then, when that failed, they just made shit up.
Yeah.
They said that I went in there and called multiple admins slurs. Can anyone here tell me if it seems in character for me to call admins homophobic slurs?
Definitely not what you're trying to get back in.
Certainly not.
They said that was when they unblacklisted me, which they never did.
Well, we'll figure that out later.
They said they unblacklisted me, and then I did that.
Okay.
Which is wouldn't happen.
We're here to talk
And I
about
can't play
rules. We'll
around
get
them
you on a
because
podcast later, bro.
because anytime I get in their session, they just fuck off
Yep. All right,
every
let's
time.
see. Blessed Turf. How do we feel about Blessed Turf, guys?
It's so dumb.
I got a problem with it. So for me, the blessed families that currently have blessed turf just see that as a chance to basically do fucking nothing turf war wise.
Mhm.
For instance, I would like to get my hands on Braithwaite Manor someday, and I just can't because I'm not a blessed family.
Winchester and Vilified, but haven't had a turf war in like a year
Well, shit,
Really?
because the only turf they have is blessed turf,
bro,
and
let me show
all of the
myself
blessed
here.
families
Hold
are
up.
in commission.
I got Thieves Landing, and I made it my Blessed Turf when this system first came out, which I said this system was stupid to begin with. But I was like, hey, give me that turf, and then I only have to plan to fight 4 people, and I'm not going to have any other turfs, right? At the time, I had to plan to fight Argent, Vilified, and Winchester, right? I only had to plan for 3 crews.
Mhm.
That's how
Mind you, you had to plan for 3 crews that all suck.
not the
So I agree that there should be like an element. What's the word I'm looking for? There should be like a bonus to having blessed turf. You know, there's a privilege to it. You're a blessed family. You've been around for a while. You've earned your status. You know, blah blah blah. But I don't like the idea that you can just sit back and then never, ever, ever have a turf war ever, and that turf's just permanently locked down and no one can get their hands in it.
I believe it was also stated that all the current blessed families are either defunct or in a commission together, meaning that
So,
it's functionally an
Commissioned
Sinclair
up,
has
I do
shut
believe.
down. Sinclair has shut down. There are 4 other blessed families, and those are the 4 members of Winchester's commission.
Cool. So right now,
Yeah.
Winchester has 4 turfs at their disposal. Not just Winchester, but all the other members. I forget the commission name.
I do believe Black Banners is currently blessed, and I don't know if they're commissioned with Winchester at the moment or
Doc
not. I
doesn't
do not
say
think
it,
they are.
and that means it's not true.
Okay.
Straight up,
Yeah,
if the
okay.
doc doesn't say it, it's not the case.
So either way, that means that being blessed is not an honor. It should not be treated as one. It is a duty. If you feel like you're getting something from being blessed other than a little bit more say when you're talking to other families, you're doing it wrong.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ballard was blessed for the entirety of its existence, and Ballard never had any privileges over other families.
Ballard was
I
blessed
know.
initially in a time
Yeah,
when blessing was different. But yes.
I know damn well that we weren't never fighting for Saint Denis. Sicily started and then called us out for it the next day.
Gotta admire that shit. Okay.
This is another section that I feel very strongly
Hold on.
about. Free mode wars.
I wrote the last set of rules on free mode war, so let me pick this one apart. Hold on. 4 members of each family are required to start a free mode war. So if I've got 2 Suppresses with me, I'm there and Bianchi's there, and we're all friendly, and we get jumped by Sinclair. I know they're shut down, but Sinclair, and they have 4 people. Are you telling me that's not a free mode war by the rules? Because that's fucking stupid.
This is another thing. You weren't around for this. You had already left IDA and retired. But when Sandy was running IDA, she took a full posse and jumped a full posse of Icy. After posting the win message, she was told that the only way for it to be a free mode war was for it to be planned.
What?
And it
No,
says
free
in the
mode.
doc that this counts as either planned or spontaneous, spontaneous being a jump raid, etc. This was a jump. And they said because it was a jump, even though we followed all Mafia rules and won by way of whack, it was not a free mode war.
Okay, this is something I know has not been followed, right? This whole section here, right? I know for a fact people are not following because I've had people messaging me about it. It is a free mode war unless you get everyone to agree otherwise. That is the way it is written. That is the way it has always been.
Mhm.
The time limit must not exceed 4 hours. No. That's... We used to fight 18, 19, 20-hour wars all the time.
Hold up. I do want to explain why that's a rule, right? Because I get this rule. It's because time limit wars are made for people who are short-term fighters and people who don't have a lot of time to play at a time. Right? And so they're saying, hey, if you want to make it a time limit war, then it has to be a short time limit, or you can just fight indefinitely until you meet a win con.
But that's not the way that it's set up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. That makes sense to me. I don't mind. I fought all of my turf wars once we were allowed to do time limits. I did 2-hour wars. All of them. Because they're awesome. Like, everyone's
It
popping
must
tier
be-
3s going. It's awesome.
Yeah. It must be fought on unclaimed turf unless the family which owns the turf gives consent. That's a dumbass rule.
Why would you
Because,
not give consent to have instant wax?
Yeah, why would you not consent to having instant wax? No one has ever fought a turf war since the server started on unclaimed turf, unless they were fighting over unclaimed turf.
Agreeable time and rules within 48 hours. Failure to respond results in a forfeit. Yeah, cool, whatever. Either family fails to keep 4 or more people in the lobby. It should say side, not family. Let's get that out the way now for all of this, because you can have commission wars. Either family has 4 or more members that are all in a safe zone for longer than 15 minutes. You have another rule that already dictates this. Either change this rule or the other rule. Either family has 3 or more exposures. Whatever, sure. Either family has their highest ranking member assassinated, or all of their members assassinated. This bottom one is a holdover from GTA, and I know it is, because this is included in this shit.
So, the reason I want to explain why it's a thing on GTA, it doesn't work it's not 1-to-1, but it kind of works if you fidget with the rule a bit on Red Dead. The reason that it is a thing on GTA is because people will abuse properties on GTA. Dons will go inside during whack lobbies once they start wars. And the objective is to make it, the way it works on GTA is highest rank outside or all members outside. So that people can't just abuse parties. And that's kind of the reason that it's still a thing over here. I think that it should be the same way with safe zones. I think if you are at camp or in a shop, then the highest rank position goes to the rank below you.
Okay.
Same with all members that are not in a safe zone.
Gotcha. Let's move to this next thing. All involved families intend to sit down and agree on a draw or win for either side. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
You're just going to set up that sit down.
Yeah, the
and
only
win.
time this has ever happened successfully is when I
Is
sat
when you
down
do.
Pink Panther and Winchester with Siciliano's help. They had 2 much bigger powers at the time, sitting them down and telling them, "Make peace, idiots."
So the thing is, right? The thing with that is, I'm going to explain to you what I would do in that situation. I would be very intentional about the way that I worded it and make sure that there was no screenshot of me agreeing to non-violence. And then I would set up that sit down, and because it is a win condition, that means it has to be done while war is still active. And I would just whack everyone there, except the TO.
Yep. If you were smart and you know how to set up a meeting, you would start the war, fight for like 2 minutes, make sure only 1 or 2 of your guys dies, and then say, "Hey, I want to sit down and try and work this out." That's literally the
And then
phrase
say-
you say. And they'll say,
Yeah.
of course, the other side's going to be like, "Oh, we shitted all over them, apparently. Let's go." And then they're
Yeah.
going to sit down and they're going to kill you.
Because that's the thing, right? Is as long as you don't say outright that it will be a non-violent sit down, you can just say, "Oh, I didn't like what they said to me,"
Yep.
and then
And
you
you
win.
whacked the highest member. Congrats. Commission Ally Wars. CVCs, whatever. I don't do CVCs.
Yeah,
I don't care about them. But cool if people want.
Neither do I.
Commission Ally Wars must be agreed upon for all planned events.
That was made because of us.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I get the logic. Whatever.
Sinclair made that rule a thing.
Okay,
Sinclair
standard
caused
free
that
mode
rule.
war. Whoa, they added. Okay, I built this rule set, right? This was my baby, right? 2-hour time limit, yeah, cool. Wins via normal free mode war conditions, and then they list a bunch of things that were not in it initially. It was wax, lobby push out, exposing DQs, first parlay. I don't know what majority holds turf even means necessarily.
What that means is, in the time limit, you have the most time holding the turf. And I don't agree with that. I think that it should be attacker push out. It has to be a consecutive hold time. And that's what we did against, what's the name? Against Icy, if you remember, T.
Yeah.
Sinclair, plus, some other folks that we won't name for obvious reasons. Sinclair told Icy, hey, you know what? We will do this. No commission allowed. Mafia rules, 20-minute consecutive hold. Our time limit, if no one wins by the time limit, then we win. And they agreed to it because they're dumb. And
And it worked, yeah.
yeah, I think you can guess.
Won by lobby push out, having 4 or less members in a lobby, and it's only a 4-hour time limit. You're telling me you can't keep 4 people in a lobby for... This is stupid.
5 hours? Yeah.
This is fucking stupid. Like...
Yeah.
I could do this now, and I don't even have a family.
Mm-hmm.
Posse Star
Wait.
Takedown.
Let me read that. Let me be sure. Is there a turf hold WinCon on this one?
No, it's just lobby.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. I'm gonna start doing
but that's
conquest.
because it'd be good at it.
Yeah.
The defenders
So
are
Preston
always
needs
gonna
to do
win if they're even
conquest
semi-competent.
exclusively. T, you need to start taking notes.
Posse Star Takedown. Whacking the highest level member probably counts as loss. Attackers out for 2 hours to win. If the Posse Star enters and holds for 15 minutes, the attacker. Okay, so this is like Posse Star holds the turf, like what MMC did that one time. So, for everyone at home, this is put the Posse Star on the hold point, whatever the fuck it is, right? And keep them there for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's easy.
Is that consecutive or
doesn't state.
cumulative?
It should.
What?
It doesn't state. It probably should.
It should be consecutive.
Yep. Hell on Earth, my favorite. No band.
It's fake Hell on Earth. It's not Hell on Earth.
Conditions: push out, parlay, and team with the fewest. What? Team with the few members. What does that even mean?
No idea.
Whacking
I
the
want
highest
to.
member of the other crew. Cool. Never gonna happen when Debos are available.
Yeah. So no. I want to point out they fucked with your rule set, Con.
Okay.
Notice.
What did they do?
No banned weaponry. You made this so that people could use craftables, so that craftables were allowed in a rule set for people that liked to play that way.
Yeah, no banned weaponry.
No banned weaponry. You can't use banned weapons.
I think that they're saying that there is no banned weaponry.
I know for a fact that's not the case, because these are all things that you can make it without attacker input. They said that we could not unban craftables. Sinclair could not unban craftables.
I think that maybe we're just
unless the attackers wanted it. Unless the attackers wanted it.
I think I agree with that. I think this is just weighed out poorly, personally. I don't think this is malicious.
I don't know. The experience with Sinclair v IC makes me think that they fucked with your rule set.
This actually isn't my rule set. Killer came up with this.
How did that fucking idiot come up with this?
Probably because I started teaching these guys how to use E-rounds. But CVC, yeah, we all know what that shit is.
It sucks. It's lame.
Voting. Okay, 99% of people aren't going to give a shit about this, so I'm going to skip past this. Just know, voting in this server, in my experience, is a sham.
It doesn't exist.
Like, when it happens, it's just who do you want to suck the dick of more right this second, and that's who you vote with, unless you're like 4 people.
So here's what I want to point out, right? Voting does not exist in that server.
Like at all?
I want to point out to you when Sinclair was still blessed, right? And Sandy still had access to people that she could say, hey, show me the blessed chat. Sinclair hierarchy, when she was Doc Sinclair. She ran into the situation where the blessed families refused to vote on 4 blacklists in a row in the same day. Some guy called him that was allegedly a Vittori alt, Soviet Pug who allegedly had alts in the server, Lexi Close, and one other guy. They all got blacklisted within 4 hours, within like a couple hours of each other.
Wait. Alts in the server is disallowed?
I
It
believe
wasn't.
so,
He didn't even
currently.
have alt in the server. It was so fake. They set him up.
Dude, they should have banned all of my guys then. Fuck.
Yeah, it was so fake. They set him up. So essentially, what happened was, an account showed up in the server while Pug was banned on accident, quote unquote. And that alt had the exact same name and profile picture as Pug's real account. So they banned him for having alts in the server.
Who's stupid enough to make an alt with the same name and profile picture?
That's what I said. I said, hey, Con and Sandy both keep track of everyone in IDA and what they are doing and what alts they have. You need to listen to them when they say Soviet Pug does not and would not have an alt with the same name as his main or the same profile picture. And they said, well, fuck you. It had the same name and profile picture, so it's his alt.
That's stupid. Alright.
It was someone else's alt. Someone set him up.
Yeah. Alright, Don's rights and responsibilities. So straight up, everyone who is just here to learn the rules, you don't need to be here, but for those of you that are looking to ascend the hierarchy ladders in your crews, this is important to understand. As a Don, it is your right to attend and vote at a Don's meeting if your family meets the requirements. It is not your right only. It is your responsibility to your crew. Everyone out there in a family, if your Don is not doing this, kill him.
If you do not attend and vote at Don's meetings, you are allowing the community and the powers in that community to strip you of your right to attend and vote at Don's meetings. That's what happened in the Mafia Hub originally. People did not vote, so their rights were taken from them by the admin team. Half of this doc was made by the admin team because Dons were not voting, so they allowed themselves to have their rights taken.
Like, I mean this very seriously. I'm not joking. I'm not being exaggerative. If your Don misses 3 Don's meetings in a row, kill him yourself and go in his place. If he's not doing his job, why the fuck does he have it?
Yep.
Dons are in control of their crew and members, as they are an extension of you, and Dons are to be expected to take responsibility for their crew/members' actions. Yep, I agree with this. Poorly worded, but I agree with this.
It's worded poorly because it was written by a fucking retard. But
your family's breaking community rules
yes.
and has requested you remove them. If not, your family can be put on a strike due to complicity. Complicity. My bad. Fuck, I'm retarded.
Yes.
Your family, your choice. Don't listen to that shit. If
that rule is
and
dumb.
gets banned and you want to keep them, fuck those guys. Do what you want. Your family.
Yeah.
You're allowed one vote for your family. You can request a topic at any time. You're damn right you can.
I just want to say they do not respect your right to do this. And so if you are hierarchy and you want to make a topic and they write you off and they do not put up a vote for it, do not lay down. Tell them, yo, either you are going to put up this topic or I'm going to rain hellfire on your crew. You are the person in charge of organizing the Don's meetings and the Don's server, so you need to put up this vote. It is your responsibility and your duty as a blessed Don. Do it, or I will rain hellfire on this server.
You may also request to be blessed. I don't have a problem with this rule, but listen. Blessing is supposed to be the acknowledgement of the elders of the juniors' possibility and of their achievement. It's supposed to be that if you even think there's a chance you should be getting blessed and you're close to right, you should be going up to the table already. Like, if you're asking to be blessed all the time, you probably don't need to be.
Yeah.
Let's go through the rest of everything. Nothing really there.
Yeah. I don't think we missed anything.
Policies that are changed with Don's meeting do not affect previous decisions. Yep, cool.
My laptop crashed like 7 times during that.
Oh, damn. Okay, required term.
Yeah, as I kept like going quiet, trying to track where you guys were at in the dock.
So, you got a whole bunch of definitions. I'm not going to read all of them off. Joining the community. Let's go through that, because I think that's the last thing, and this is the thing that's going to interest any of y'all on my channel, because I know most of you aren't community people. Creating a crew, getting the roles. You need to invite 5 members to the community to get your role, have an appropriate name for your crew, and have a leader in the community. Why is it 5 if you can fight a war with 4? I just want to know that. Same thing with this.
Used to, it was back on GTA where the community was founded. It was 4 GT changes. It was if you had a hierarchy, if you had more than one person, you got a role. Back in way back in the day, then it was 4 people in general.
Gotcha. So, I've got a question for you, Mr. T, right? Because you're here. Azuli, Dazed, if either of y'all are here, you can answer this too afterwards. If a motherfucker's got the balls to create a family, just with his friend Timmy, you think he should be able to?
Yeah.
I think if Don, Joe, and Doc Timmy of the fucking Macaroni Crime family are the only members, and they're still willing to show up and show out in the community, then they are completely within their rights to do that.
For real.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about real quick?
There are things I want to talk about, but I don't know if we have time
are they
for
relevant, or do you just want to talk about them?
I'd call them relevant, but I don't know if you'd agree with me.
That's a no.
Part 2.
I'm about to start making some hot takes here, and I don't know if your viewers are going to like it very much.
Okay, so we'll get another one of these where maybe we go over another rule set, or maybe we go just over some stuff. We'll get.
I think you should just let me talk for 20 minutes and upload it.
We may do that. We'll see. All right, thank you for joining me, guys, and thank you for listening to us talk about bullshit Mafia rules, even though none of you probably play them. All right, that's it. Peace.